Yeah, happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this webinar today. We have some really great insights and learnings coming up, and yeah, my recommendation is to just take a very comfortable position in your seat or how you're standing, and we will get going. My name is Jose Kantola. I'm a co-founder at Teamspective, and well, together with our team, some of them here today as well. We have helped dozens of companies to set up and improve their employee engagement processes. The smallest customers are startups, and the largest ones have tens of thousands of employees. So there's a really wide range of learnings and different ways of doing things in there. And yeah, I'm really happy to have Matea join us today. She is the People and Culture Lead at Danfoss Digital Services Unit, and has led their organization through several impressive initiatives over the past years. So we will hear more about those soon. Today's agenda is as follows. So I'll first share some insights about HR investment trends, where most companies are investing their money and what objectives they are looking to achieve. That hopefully triggers some new ideas in your head. And yeah, then we will hear these stories from Matea, and in the end, we'll wrap up things with some more tips on how to get your managers to do the right things effectively. And as said, ask questions at any point. We will answer at latest in the end. But let's start with those trends. So to set the context for also why today's topics matter, I think we all have heard too many COVID stories by now, so I'll keep this first part very short. But some history also can help understand where we are at the moment. So obviously during 2020, there was originally quite high growth expectations in many companies. But then because of the pandemic, there were a lot of serious reactions, so leading to a full freeze in hiring. All the investments were stopped in many companies and so on. In 21, that was already changing a bit. So still not, we didn't see booming budgets, but companies started to actively invest, for example, into HR tech, especially to support the hybrid working and operating culture. It was a big change for many. In 22, the worst of the pandemic was already easing up, and then what happened was that the economy got stronger, and the hiring kind of floodgates opened. So there was really big increases in many companies, also in the HR budgets, and especially when it comes to hiring. And in the HR tech category, the investments actually declined overall. So that's something you might have experienced too, that when you need to hire a lot of people really fast, it's really hard to focus on anything else than supporting that. Then we get to last year. So, well, there's been some struggles in the economy, high inflation, interest rates were high, and so on. So the hiring budgets had been limited again. A lot of companies were actually kind of freezing the hiring or having even layoffs. It hasn't been too rare in the past couple of years, and that pretty much has continued also going to this year. So no huge increase in the budgets. Overall, the hiring market is not too hot either. But there's one really important observation here, and that is that while the other budgets have been limited, there has been a really clear increase in the investments to HR technology. And at least to me, that triggered the question, why would that be? And obviously, adopting some AI solutions plays a role here. Companies want to invest there. But across a lot of studies, there's another topic that seems to be repeating. And it is that companies are investing in HR tech, especially to now improve the efficiency of their employees and how their organization works. So in a way, when you don't have more budget, you need to think where to invest to get more out of the same people and the same budget. So looking to tech investments to save employee time, improve employee performance or team performance, increase the quality of leadership in the organization. And these focus areas are kind of linked to also this next observation. So this is a study by Gartner from last year, but it also demonstrates the fact we have witnessed with a lot of customer companies recently. So a clear majority, 10 out of 12 actions that are needed to engage employees are actually dependent on the team managers to take the right actions. So the managers play a huge role in determining how effective the individuals and the teams and the collaboration is. But when that is the case, only 19% of HR leaders actually trust that the managers have the ability to take action on the feedback and data that is available. So that's a really, really serious gap, which nearly all companies feel like they are facing. So as discussed, the companies are looking to improve leadership quality, get more done with the same resources, but at the same time, the managers are really like overworked and a big bottleneck in this equation. So there's like 3 investment areas that are currently popular and can help address these topics. So the first one is to invest into tools that are kind of integrated into your other main tools and use AI in a smart way. So that would help save time by summarizing data, delivering it to managers where it's easy for them to review and understand. The second point is to increase data quality. So for example, today's topic is on engagement surveys, making sure that they measure relevant and actionable topics. So not too scientific or kind of top level, and also to measure it frequently enough so it's possible to notice and fix issues proactively. And then the third one, invest in tools that help your managers take the action, in the best case even without the help of HR team or other supporting functions, because that's then what will really help you improve the efficiency and speed as well. So if you manage to improve on all of these, it will kind of leads to a self-reinforcing cycle. So you have managers who are less busy, but more informed. They will have better focus and do more of these right actions. And that will lead to improved performance in the teams and individuals. And most often when the teams are better led, they have less issues, which will again lead to even less busy managers. So you will have a kind of winning formula here through investing in these 3 areas. Yeah, I think I'll let Mateja jump to the stories very soon. I'll really quickly still share the Teamspective take on these topics. So our mission is to normalize excellent leadership. So ensuring that a leadership inside of a company a great leadership is the normal situation. It's not an exception that others try to achieve. And we help companies ensure that they develop this organizational performance in a holistic way. So employee engagement, the performance of them in their work, and also the quality of collaboration are all addressed and improved because they all influence and impact each other. And yeah, we have seen that at the moment, it's really rare that companies would actively monitor and improve all of these areas using data as well. So there's a lot of opportunities. And how we do this, we basically have 4 parts in the, thank you, there on the comments. But yeah, our solution addresses this with 4 parts. So first we have engagement solutions. So running employee surveys, pulse surveys, life cycle surveys, collecting comments from the employees. Second one is focused on performance, so ensuring that you have the feedback processes, performance reviews, 360 feedback in place as you want them. And thirdly, to also look at the collaboration. So we use network analysis to study the insights of how people across the organization, in the teams and between teams, collaborate, where you have strengths, where you might have gaps. And then that all is combined into the 4th part, which would be the AI agent that helps leaders then understand all of that. It's a massive amount of data. So helping leaders access and understand that data that is available to them, and then the system would deliver it to the managers in a kind of reasonably sized chunks. And then also to help the leaders plan the right actions. So when you have a list of results, it's very helpful when the AI can give you like the top priorities and focus on these first, or this is how you can discuss about those topics. And then finally, it will also, from an organization's perspective, allow or help leaders follow a more unified approach to leadership. So kind of decreasing the amount of differences between how leaders operate and helping them all adopt the right best practices that you have in your playbooks and guides. Yeah, I hope there's some new ideas and some inspiration that you're getting out of that data, those investment trends where a lot of companies are investing at the moment. And yeah, I'll now move from theory to real life learnings. So let's welcome to the stage Matea, who, yeah, again, is the people and culture lead at Danfoss Digital Services.
Hey everyone, and thanks Jussi for the introduction. Very inspiring also what AI is bringing to us now in everyday life. So super to explore this a bit more. But I will present my case with Teamspective at Danfoss. Danfoss is a big engineering company, 42,000 employees right now in 100 different countries. We are divided, you can see here in this slide, in 3 different segments. Power solution that works mainly in hydraulics and electrical systems. Then Danfoss climate solution that I'm part of is also where we do and engineer solutions for in heating and cooling industry. And Danfoss Drives at the end is a global leader for electrical motors in automotive industry, HVAC, and so on. So very big organization, mostly hardware organization. And I'm with Danfoss for many years now, more than 15. And I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to explore the company from different functions, different corners. So I can say that I know the company pretty well. Last 3 years, I'm part of digital services organization or business unit, you can say. We acquired different startups from 2017 on. And right now we have more than 170 software people in this organization. So different startups that we joined into one business unit. We are now 22 different nations, and we always say that we have a heart of the startup, but with the muscles of Danfoss. So this was my playground of the different people coming from different areas, all the startup mentality from different countries. And when I entered this team, it was obvious that we need to work together to build this team together as one team. Because we didn't know how to deal with all of this. And one of the Finnish startup already at that time used the Teamspective. We said that this should be something that we should invest and implement through the whole organization. So 2 years now, we are using Teamspective, of course, comparing with the Danfoss engagement survey that comes every 2 years is, of course, something completely different when you measure the pulse activity on a regular manner. With Teamspective, we are doing this before. The last year, we did that every 14 days. Now we are measuring engagement, well-being, diversity, and inclusion topics every month. So again, completely different comparing our business unit with the rest of the Danfoss. And I'm happy that we are leading the way, and many business units are now following us because they see the benefit of using Teamspective as a tool that helps us develop our organization and our people. we can go to the next slide. We have different stories, success stories that are coming from this. But one of the things is that I want to focus on two particular cases. But before I go into these two cases, I want to show you the 2-year trend that we can now follow in engagement, well-being, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and of course, the Employee Net Promoter Score in our organization. And you can see it's very high and very positive. Maybe just Employee Net Promoter Score is a bit more dynamic, but still we are measuring 21 different factors, and particularly this year we were very much focusing on understanding strategy, feedback and appreciation, career development, and Employee Net Promoter Score. All of these factors were a bit dynamic, and there were different reasons why these 4 factors were a bit low in our organization. I said that I won't go through all of them, but particularly focus on 2. This is feedback and career development, and I want to share with you what we did in these 2 areas. First one is on feedback culture. We are a big organization, but our business unit is surrounded, our software developers are, there are only 200 of them, but we are surrounded with a big hardware stakeholders around us, and sometimes many things and many situations are like this, that we are influenced by this big environment around us, and also with different. Because of that and many other reasons, we could see in one particular team that satisfaction with the feedback was low in many moments, especially in the beginning of the year. And with Teamspective, because we get results every month, and also with my role in the organization, we are looking into the results very particularly every month or every second we get the results. Also, the commitment of the leadership team is very high, so we can actually react toward the need of our employees immediately. So together with this team, we develop the Team Excellence Booster Workshop, and particularly with the input that we get from the Teamspective, that we can start with the feedback week. You get this input. If this feedback element is low, you get this as a suggestion. Of course, we use these Teamspective suggestions, and so that's how we started with the feedback week in this team. We'd also discuss the feedbacks openly in this particular team. Also, we did different other stuff to make people more engaged, openly talk about what is wrong in the team, and of course trying to find action points. And I can say that I'm doing this in not just one team, but many teams that are in our organization. And with that, we can see the trend of going feedback very much up in the whole organization. So not just seeing the feedback or any element of in the Teamspective, but actually doing something about it. This is what makes the difference. So now at least the feedback in the organization, the whole organization, it's much higher. We can now see 15% percentage points up. The result is better in the whole organization. So this is one of the example. Another example I want to show is on career opportunities. Again, Teamspective and our people's feedback on the career opportunities in digital services was really low. Because we were formed by combining several companies that were internal and external acquisitions, and we didn't have a clear structure on career paths. So this was again another opportunity when we got the feedback that this area we need to improve. We said, let's do something about it, again with my support and support of the people in these different functions, because I always act bottom up. I always invite people who want to contribute to different topics that they join me. I'm never alone in this. So different team leads and other individual contributors who are passionate about the topic, they join me, and we create together these great programs for our employees. In this particular program, so maybe if you say to the next slide, we created new career opportunities in 3 different areas: in operations, in R&D, and commercial engines. So based on the input from the Teamspective, we saw that this is something we need to do something more here. And nowadays we have, after 3 months or so, we have a new career opportunities in actually the whole organization. Before we had, for let's say, if we just take R&D, we have just junior and senior software developers option where people could go. Now you can see here in a picture right, so in the right picture, that we have 7 different levels where people can develop in R&D, and of course also in operations we have another 6 levels where people can go. And I didn't show the picture here. On commercial engine we have another 5 levels there. So next year we will take also product management there, some other function, and suddenly we will have the whole organization covered with the new career levels. And that would be, or what our employees appreciate, is that they can suddenly see much more transparently how they can move from one area or from one function to another function. So again, without Teamspective, or without this element that we are tracking, we wouldn't know this is a need of our people. Feedback, appreciation, career opportunities, understanding strategy, because we are a new organization. This is another great thing that we are doing. People are saying they don't understand strategy because we measure this, we check the pulse, how it is, and we can see slowly with the different actions that we do in this area that people are slowly understanding also this area much more. So I can just say that with different elements that we are tracking, and because also leadership team and team leads are the drivers of employee success, in my organization we are tracking, we are bringing the results to the whole organization in the town halls, in the different other meetings, in Teams, Microsoft Teams. You can see also this picture of leader who is actually inviting people to share the how they feel about Teamspective, and also invite them to take part of the next Teamspective survey. So many activities that we do, and they are at the end of the day success, because the factors that we are tracking are very much successful. And whenever we see the element that is not good enough, of course we take immediate actions and somehow create things that people and our leaders and our employees feel satisfied. So with Teamspective we do this very, very successfully. So that's from my side. I saw a question from Jaka, and thanks Jaka for joining us. Jaka is my colleague from Slovenia. Why did you switch from bi-weekly to monthly measurements? Great question, Jaka. We did that because you know how it is with different service. Sometimes people are, they were maybe a bit too intense. If you go and check pulse activity every 14 days, now with every month, they somehow agree that this is good enough for taking and asking those questions. So also our pulse activity is very dynamic, but we can see it's somehow always above 60 percentage points. But sometimes in December or in June, July, when we have summertime, people are not so much present at work. So that's why we decided to go a bit less frequently with this service.
Thanks.
Of course. Any other question? I went through all these examples very quickly, but again, great opportunity to understand your community better and react towards their needs. And of course, this what our employees appreciate a lot. And then we can say that engagement and all of these factors are having the right meaning in the organization. I'm happy to report that not only us in digital services are now using Teamspective, we are now implementing or already is implemented this tool across the organization. Few other business units are following us, and I really hope that we will go through the segment and bring many other people to this great tool that we use.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing the examples, Matea. And I think it's very especially great to see how kind of in many ways you bring this forward. So you have the town halls, you have the teams doing something, you have the leadership involved and talking about it and so on. So it kind of like makes it meaningful for the employees and everyone, and you get a lot of impact out of those surveys.
Exactly.
Yeah, feel free to post more questions to the chat. I'll summarize next 2 points, which are pretty much like quite aligned also with what Danfoss has done and what we have seen as like best practices for companies to follow. The learnings will be on the accountability and guidance. So first one, accountability, it's important, and a disclaimer here, I really hope that this sounds really basic for you, because that would mean that you are already on a good track. But the point here is that what leaders do, others will consider important and will follow. And when the managers understand that they are responsible for some actions, they are more likely to do it. So the accountability needs to be clear. And then all of these would then lead to the situation where everyone in the team can see like, hey, I answered the survey, we got the results, people actually care about those results and they lead to action, and so on. So the 3 points here on the slide are related to this. So kind of we all should own our own results, and it starts from the very top of the leadership. So when they show example, the results are discussed in the town halls or other forums, it will kind of create more accountability also for the teams to do it on their own. The second point is that the most results and kind of challenges or strengths are very often unique to a team. So it's important that you can guide teams to check like what is going on with your team and what can you control, and then focus the improvements on those. There's a lot of topics that cannot be fixed by company initiatives. And then the third one will relate to this organizational performance management that I mentioned earlier, but the performance, engagement, the collaboration, they all influence each other, and they all together determine the overall performance. And it's very natural, for example, for a team leader to kind of drift in focus to one of these. For example, if I'm really good at addressing individual performance, I might focus my efforts there, but then the other areas might get neglected. And the other area was guidance. So accountability will not work if the managers don't know what to do or how to do it. So when you give accountability, it's important to ensure that you also give some answers and guidance, especially on these 3 questions that you can see on the slide. And well, the example here is about, well, if it's a feature in Teamspective, but a good example of the tech investments that then can be done. This is an AI snapshot from survey results. So it helps managers check the results because this is delivered directly to Microsoft Teams or Slack. So it answers this first question. It showcases the most important results. So it's steering the focus of the leader already, answering the second question. And then finally, it also gives concrete tips. How could you address those results in your team meeting? And so on. So this is like one way how you could help everyone, every leader, every team to get really far ahead and very independently when taking those actions. That's a wrap on that content. I don't see any further questions in the chat, but if you have any, feel free to post there or then raise your hand. You can see that on the bottom of the screen. Any questions, especially for Matea, I would say those were really nice learnings. Yeah, so there's one questions in the survey from Teamspective, and do you also support other methodologies? So I could answer the second question here. So with Teamspective, we build our own survey model. So that's backed by kind of research on employee psychology and organizational development, and then we have developed it further with our customers and some data scientists. But the system also supports you to basically completely customize the surveys. So if there is some specific model that you want to follow or some topics that are really important in your organization, it's perfectly possible to take surveys to that. And yeah, I'll let Jukka add to that. I think we could throw the first question to Mate afterwards.
Yeah, just a quick addition that Gallup's Q12 has actually also inspired the Teamspective's data model as well. So if you kind of go through all the questions that we have in our question library, you most likely will kind of see some overlap. So definitely one of our principles when we develop our question library and the data model is that it's backed in research, and we follow different research papers and articles quite closely.
Yeah, just to check. So I think the first question was here, like, are the questions in the survey, I believe, that Danfoss uses from Teamspective? I believe the answer mostly is yes, but if you, Matea, want to add anything there.
Yes. Yeah. So all the questions are designed and suggested by Teamspective. So at least this is what we use so far. But of course, every year we are checking if those questions are still, meaningful for our organization. And for next year, we have some functional goals, and we will probably add to those questions also some unique questions that will give us a bit opportunity to follow on these functional results that are very much important for us to go further and develop the organization, and of course, be successful in our sales.
One question to throw to Matea, so what can you give some examples of what kind of things you have done to make sure that the leadership is involved and engaged in this?
Yes.
A lot of the time it doesn't happen automatically.
No, and it didn't happen also in our case, but we are maybe a bit small business unit, so 200 people, that is around 30 leaders, working with them individually and with team and bringing the topics and reminding them. So this was on my to-do. So on my side, just to remind them and help them with understanding the survey results. And also we are now very good already at when we get comments that we actually reply to every comment we get. And this is how people see they're actually taking this seriously. And because we are talking and bringing those Teamspective results in every situation we can, people are actually feel free and safe that they ask questions, and they will get the answer at the end of the day. And we do something about it also with these cases, new career levels, new communication of the strategy. So we are adopting, if people are saying we don't understand this part of the strategy, then we adopt and try to, in leadership team, talk and adopt communication level so that people will understand what we are trying to say, and so on and so on. So it's really taking what is there and interpret it so that every employee in the organization understands it. And leaders are playing the crucial role here, of course.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you for sharing. I don't see raised hands or any questions here, so maybe it's a wrap for this session. Thank you everyone for your time. Thanks, Mateja, for sharing the insights. I'll give you a virtual clap of hands here. And
Thank you.
thanks for joining. We'll share the materials and the recording soon. And yeah, have a really great rest of the week, everyone. Thanks for joining.